I've been to a lot of events, and most of them are like horror conventions. Most of these people I had at least heard about or had some idea of being either cool to talk to or, kind of a dick. There's two, actually the one I don't remember his name, but the one I do remember is, I don't remember his name, he's the guy with the dick gun in Dusk from Dawn, or
Savini.
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini.
Oh, Tom. Oh, yeah, you did.
He is I was already kind of told from doing working this circuit a bit that he's a dick.
Yeah.
And I did have a chance to act wholeheartedly meet him. And granted, I went in with that in mind, and not that I was just saying hi because I didn't care about autograph. I don't care about autographs.
Was he nice to you?
No, he was a cunt. And it wasn't just.
I was hoping though.
No, it wasn't even just to me, because then I got out of line because I was in line waiting, and just seeing him talking to other people who are way bigger fans, because I don't give a shit too much about this, but just these are people who paid their hard-earned fucking money just to get into fucking Cherry Hill or wherever the fuck it was.
Is this the same time that I met Danny Trejo?
No, I wasn't at that one. No, you texted me that. I was fucking.
Oh, right. I was.
Yeah, I wasn't at that because I love Danny Trejo.
I met Danny
and
Trejo.
he's a fucking saint.
Yeah,
I have never met him, but he's a fucking saint, and you will never say a goddamn bad thing about him.
No, I love Danny Trejo.
But I was waiting in line just to meet Tom Savini because why not? I was told
he's a horror and effects
he
legend.
is he is a fucking he is a legend in that field. And but I was also told by some of the people we were around, he's a twat.
Yeah.
And not just this instance, this venue, but
I heard that from people. I had heard that in documentaries about horror movies.
And
stuff.
I was just let me go see, because I figured he's probably a shithead, but how bad could he be? But I was just my
here
God,
we are.
My God, just. Because these people are coming up to you and they're paying money for your fucking autograph, which is kind of ridiculous to me to begin with. But whatever. And they're oh, can you sign this, this, and this? And I'll pay you. I'll pay you that. Say it was $5 to get his autograph. I know it was way more than that. But I'll pay you $15 to sign these 3 things. He's you think I got time for that? You see this line? Why should I even fucking pay attention to you? It's Jesus Christ, dude. The only reason you're getting paid.
Yeah. On judging people. Judging people.
And I was just
you're in a hotel in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
It might not have been that show, but that's the only one that I know I've been to.
Right.
But God damn. Why would you be such a fucking shithead to any of your fans? Because I've seen this with some wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'll do that at the end, my good stories. And they're kind of wrestlers. Still, but it was just remarkable how because I get he's a name, and that this was in the time when they had that show on FX of it was the tattoo show, but you were a special effects artist.
Practical effects.
Yeah, and it was just it was during that time, and he wasn't a contestant ever, but he was a judge. And it's just
you want to justify it.
I can't justify any of it.
Right, yeah, but that's just it. It said it's completely absurd.
You do, granted, he did harder work, in my opinion, than actors. Just because of the technicality of it.
Yeah, I don't know how,
as a producer, I agree.
But
this is one of those things where it's if anybody wants to comment on this, when they listen to this fucking podcast, but my general opinion about it is that if you're in some way you're acting, you're doing this thing, you're basically the exact thing that you just described. My sentiment about it is that there should be a little bit of humility there.
Well, you could also not do these things. You don't have to go to the show. Yeah. And you could be absolved from all of the fans that you have, and you don't have to deal with the common people.
Yeah,
But you're at a fucking Cherry Hill fucking Monster Mania signing on, you went to it this is what you're here for.
You
Like,
don't
why the
need-
fuck are you giving anybody any shit?
You don't need to be a spectacle everywhere that you go. And when I've been, and you know that
Especially when you are a spectacle, that's the whole reason you are there. It's because you are a spectacle.
I've been to the same shows as you, and my Danny Trejo story is the
I love it.
opposite of that.
Yeah.
I can reiterate that, but yeah, no, the story that you just unfolded, that was basically that's somebody who like didn't really appreciate what they got.
The same
That's what
show.
it comes down to. Yeah.
The same show. I was talking to the guy from I don't remember his name, but the guy from Basket Case, the main actor.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like we were next to him.
Yeah.
And I went to go get a coffee, and I started talking to the voice of the Crypt Keeper.
Right.
So I didn't even like. I don't know what he looks like, and like that, like we were just talking
No
because it
one
was
knows.
outside of his booth, and we were just bullshitting, like because he liked whatever we were selling. He's like, "Oh, you're eating fun, whatever," and he's like, "Oh, you want to get a coffee?" So me, him, and his handler, because he was, bigger star that I guess he had a handler, and so we went to go get coffee at the local casino, whatever it was.
Yeah, some spot. That
And like, so the three, like me, him, and her are walking down there. Me and him are like bullshitting. She's behind us, doing, I guess, assistant stuff. And then all of a sudden, like, we get to the coffee place. She taps him on the shoulder. She's like, you gotta, like, I guess there was something he had to do,
Right, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I have to go. Here, he gets me $50 fucking dollars. Like, we're getting coffee. And he hands me $50. He's like, you too, have coffee. Whatever. Like, I'll meet up with you. Like, hopefully we'll catch up. Like, I don't know. We might have, because I got drunk after that, but because I had $50.
Who's to say?
But, like, and then me and his handler, we chit-chatted a bit, and, like, neither one of us had any interest in what the fuck else we were doing. Like, either of us, So we kind of went our separate ways, got our coffee, and whatever. But he was fucking super fucking cordial. And, like...
some people are.
Yeah, and, like, at the beginning of the conversation, didn't know who the fuck he was. And, like, he was like, oh, like, I think he said his name, and I'm like, that kind of sounds familiar because it's also, like, it's something like Peter Sellers, who's RoboCop.
Yeah.
But it's something a little different. I'm like, oh, RoboCop? And he's like, no, I get that a lot. I was the voice of the Crypt. I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, all right. Like, no, I used to watch you before going to school, Catholic school. And he enjoyed that. But,
Right. Yeah.
and so, but he was like, I didn't recognize him. Like, also, he was a voice actor. But
Right.
I also didn't recognize him even after he said the name. And he's like, whatever.
cool.
But he was still super fucking nice.
Right.
Some people find peace just in the work that they do, and they don't need to be
Yeah.
validated nonstop, as regular celebrities seem to need
Like, it seems like Tom Savini needs to be seen
constantly.
for no reason, really.
That is his personality.
because
Like, he needs the attention.
I think
And
he's too seen.
I think he's kind of bitter because he doesn't get as much attention as he used to.
I think he gets too much attention.
Well, I mean, I would also
But
probably say that. But
You know who doesn't get enough attention? The tire.
No
from
one
Rubber.
knows.
Oh, Rubber.
Yeah, the name of the movie is Rubber, and no one knows that movie.
I met that tire. I got an
I think
autograph.
only like 8 of us have seen this movie.
I have an autograph from that tire.
Is that movie under copyright? Because if it isn't, because it shouldn't,
Right.
we should watch it for a
we
podcast.
definitely should.
Dan, nobody cares. We can just do it.
When Christina and I first got together, I made her watch that movie, and
It's
it really,
amazing
it really
it's still
put a delay in our relationship for a long time.
No reason.
I'm gonna go and stroke her hair. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so glad that you're still with your husband.
She made us watch Holy Motors, and we made her watch
All
Rubber.
right, she loved that shit.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell her that I've met that tire. I don't think I ever told her that story.
Probably haven't.
Shockingly, he did meet this tire.
Yeah.
That's not even a joke.
Yeah. I'll say my piece on I don't really go out for meeting celebrities. It's not really my thing. I've had a lot of friends over the years that like have gone to all these like horror cons and stuff like that to get a signature and then get it tattooed on them and stuff like that. It's not really my game. Yeah. Hero worship, like the celebrity worship particularly, has always been a little weird to me. But like, Yeah, I don't know. I was with Moses when we met Mick Foley.
That was going to be one of my better ones. And Mick Foley was a fucking peach.
Yeah.
I think you
He's
said
the
that on the
greatest
wrestling
guy.
podcast, and I had nothing but nice things to say about Mick Foley as well.
Mick Foley's fucking
He
great.
paid for a picture, and they dragged me into the picture.
And it was weird because there was, I forget who, I know
Was
it
it
was
Rikishi?
Rikishi was there, and there was maybe somebody, I think there was one or two other people that were like lower tier wrestlers. Like Rikishi's mid,
Yeah.
and he was in the back. Mick
You couldn't even
Foley,
get close to him if you wanted to.
you couldn't get near Rikishi or whoever the other ones were, and I can't even remember who they are. And Mick Foley right up front, like right where everybody, like in New York Comic Con,
Even
where
if you didn't
it's
pay,
super
you could
fucking
talk
packed.
to Mick Foley.
You didn't have to pay just to even just like you could just look at him or talk to him because he would just talk to kind of anyone. And he came out from behind the booth, being the pretty crippled lady. Like I've seen all of those matches, and you see all those things where like he's kind of limping. It doesn't really put into perspective how fucking crippled that man is for everything that he's done. And it's like, but it's like him, like it was almost like Misery. Like he's hobbling around the goddamn table to like take a picture with me and him. Like, and it's like, no, like I don't, like I'll come back there and crouch down or whatever. Like I don't care. I'm just happy to meet you. And he's just, no, come out. I'm like, all right, man, but like, come on, take it easy. Like, god damn. Like,
Yeah, like the handler camera person, he's like, get him in the picture. So I didn't pay for it.
Because they're making that money.
Yeah.
yeah,
It was cool.
and-
It was cool.
And it was like $10.
Yeah.
If that.
Oh, yeah.
It was like stupid. Like, well, Rikishi and whoever the fuck was back there, like it might have been Snitsky. Well, we have actually met Snitsky, so it wasn't
The
him,
only celebrity that I personally have ever met, and I think that you guys have heard of
Yeah,
this story.
it was a great story.
It's Danny Trejo. And I was at one of these fucking horror cons, one of the ones that you didn't show up for. And I was like I was like waiting online. And I was like, holy shit, that's Danny Trejo. And
This midget in front of me.
He's so much shorter than I thought that he would be. And I was like, just like minding my own business. And I'm like anxious. I really was just there for a coffee, but it was like awesome that he was there.
Yeah.
And like he like looked over his shoulder like a little, you know, like he knew that I knew who he was. He's like, yeah, I'm Danny Trejo. I'm like,
Machete
no, I didn't
knows.
even notice. You know, like,
He heard you texting his name.
I was like trying to be cool, you know. And we get all the way up. He does his thing, and then like he had purchased me my coffee. He was just like so fucking chill, and he just like turns around and he's like, "Hey," and just like shook my hand, just like a super,
It's like
chill
super
guy.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Like, 'cause I didn't want to like bother him
Yeah.
for anything, you know. But he's just like a super nice guy. He knew that I noticed who he was, you know, and that was it. And I love that. I would never like want to put somebody out in that way, you know. But yeah, it was just like such a delightful experience, and it kind of like hardened in my mind going back to how people's, you know, your vision of who somebody is. I didn't have a strong vision one way or the other. I thought that Danny Trejo was a great actor, but meeting him in real life and seeing like how decent of a person that he is, I was like, wow, this is a really chill guy. And it did change my perspective. You know, I'll probably never see him again. But he's a chill guy, and he seems like the type of person who would like do something decent for another human being. Whereas I have a very low opinion of other like celebrities and actors and stuff
Most.
like that. Yeah, I think that most people, like if you ask me about like pull a name out of your hat,
Keanu Reeves.
and I would. Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves.
You know who was
I know.
who was very sweet that you and I briefly met, Pete? George Clinton.
Oh, he was.
that's
great,
pretty
man.
awesome.
He was chill.
Yeah.
He was a
Super
chill.
chill.
Guy. Yeah.
Super chill.
Super nice dude. Yeah.
His handler was a little misleading to us, but that's
Yes.
okay.
Oh, we're leaving out one of the greatest fucking actors of our time, and the most super fucking nice guy ever,
I know who you're gonna bring up.
Brian O'Halloran.
Brian O'Halloran. Yep.
Mr. Dante.
Yep.
Fucking, like he still comes up to me when I'm working an event and I don't know he's gonna be there, and he'll be like, "Hey, Moses, what do you got for me?" And I'm like, "Mo, you're not even supposed to be here today."
I'm sure he never gets tired of hearing that.
Oh, and he does it for me. He does it for me. We're buds.
Yeah, no, he's another.
He
sweetheart.
is. Yeah,
He's not an A-list, but he's a good guy.
He's A-list.
He's a good guy.
He's A-list.
He's A-list in my book.
I think he knows that he's not A-list.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
a good
A-list
guy,
to me.
though. I
Yeah,
like him a lot.
he's so fucking great. Hopefully, maybe one day we can get him.
It might be possible. Maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Send out those flyers.
Yep.
I have two more that are super friendly. That
Okay,
it wasn't like Mick Foley was the other one that I was going to say, but like first Raven. This was at another horror convention, and we were like his table was next to ours, and I was dope sick. We were next to Raven, and like I always enjoyed Raven from his stint with DDP and WCW, like the Flock versus DDP and whatever. And I was like, he was one of my favorite wrestlers of that time. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, let me go talk to him because I'm kind of an asshole anyway. And like, I wasn't, well, I was still riding that heroin
like
high.
to just quantify yourself as that. Like, Sally Forth. I'm kind of an asshole anyway.
Yeah. It typically works out. Except that one cop. He was a dick. But, so like we got to talking, and then like as the day progressed, I started getting sick and sicker and sicker. And he like he was talking to me like in the breaks, like, yeah, like, you all right? Like, you know, do you need anything? And the same way I've been talked to the other times that I have done this, but it was Raven doing it. Where I'm like, I listen to every, like, I'm at the fucking drop of every word you say. But he was like still super fucking cool.
That's cool.
And like, because I wasn't in the best of fucking minds. But he also got it.
Right.
And like saw it and was still.
He done it.
Yeah, Raven.
Yeah.
Raven's Raven's like one of the most intelligent wrestlers. there
No, I
fucking
just
is.
mean like I think the point he's bringing up is he's been in that state of mind.
Yeah, he's
before.
either been there or he's seen it firsthand before.
Yeah, he's been in it, but like that's with other wrestlers, so
Right,
you know,
yeah,
like
right.
that's his kin.
But,
where I'm
to
just
the
somebody,
point of his character.
Yeah.
but
that
just
you as a
being
stranger,
like
yeah.
such a nice fucking person to do that. Like, because why would you do that for anyone?
Yeah.
You know, let alone being the pseudo star he
Right.
is. And
He's being decent.
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
but you don't like, especially with the celebrity, like
you
you
don't
expect
know.
a certain decency, but like that was like a humanity that, you know, I wouldn't expect from anyone, you know, like just anyone, let alone star or not. Like some things is like, maybe I should just stay out of this.
And who was the last one?
Daisy Fuentes. I might be showing my age here. She was a
don't remember Daisy
supermodel.
Fuentes?
She was a supermodel.
Oh, man.
I sat next to her as a kid on a layover from Aruba.
I need way more information.
Daisy Fuentes did. She took over House of Style for.
You're not doing anything to help me do this.
You were barely a child then.
Yeah. Flash forward to like 1992.
She was out of it then. She might. I don't know. Cindy Crawford was still around then, right? 92.
I was about that. Yeah.
So she took over for House of Style, I think, for Cindy Crawford. She was like kind of an MTV VJ, but she was on the Sports Illustrated.
That's
she
mostly
did the
how
fucking
I
thing.
remember her as like the little like VJ stuff
Yeah.
she did. Yeah.
But she was on the covers of like Sports Illustrated and whatever
I'll show you a
popular
picture
thing.
later. You'll most likely
All right.
recognize
She
her.
was,
Save that to my phone.
Yeah.
and like we got bumped up to first class because of whatever flights, you know. So I
I
got.
still carry that fantasy. It'll never happen.
It only happened that one time, and I've been on like a lot of goddamn flights. It's only happened once, and this was the time. And I didn't even realize who it was. My cousin came running up behind me. He's like, "You know who you're sitting next to?" I'm like, because she was just like dressed regular, like
Right.
sweatpants.
She doesn't
and
have the
whatever.
lights and the makeup and the glam
Yeah.
on and stuff like that. You know.
And he was like, "That's Daisy Fuentes," and then I'm just like, "Cool."
Is that your cousin though?
Who? Daisy?
Well, you said cousin. So.
My cousin came up. Well, he came running up from Coach, and then they sent him back.
Listen, I'm just saying it's a Pornhub has put weird fellas.
Came running up from D-Deck.
Oh, this is before Pornhub,
Oh.
so it couldn't have happened. But so he was
Any
just,
moment then you could maybe.
he was just like, you know who you're like, you know who that is? I'm like, no. He's like, Daisy Fuentes. And then they escorted him back, and I'm like, huh, Daisy Fuentes. And then the only thing in my mind is Kathy Ireland, because it was the time of the year. It was the time, it was the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh.
Kathy Ireland is so funny, that reference, because for me that brings back dial-up internet and like trying to bring up pictures of Kathy Ireland where they had to interlace for like
I've been.
5 minutes.
She was one of the
I've
ones
been down
that.
that rabbit
Oh,
hole.
it was Sunny that kind of broke the internet. For
Yes,
that,
yeah.
but like then like I had like, oh, can I have your autograph? And like, cause like I'm
How
I'm like
old were you?
10 to 12 years old. Like I could, if I even had balls at the time.
Right.
So I would like, and my cousin was older, like he was
Gotcha,
teenager, like early teens. So no wonder he was so about it, and no wonder I had no idea who the fuck she was. Like whatever. But she was super fucking nice. Like, cause I asked her, and it might be because I was so young that why would she be a cunt? You know, where she might be that for if I was a grown adult.
Together, dude.
But she was super nice. I got like 4 or 5 autographs from her. Made out to different people.
I just had a memory that hit me. And I'll keep it real quick because it's about a guy whose name I don't even remember. But I was going down to the camping trip with a bunch of guys at Point Lookout, Maryland. And I think we stopped at the Maryland House, which is on 95. It's like a big rest area. And this guy forced his autograph and pictures on all of us. We were Boy Scouts. He, like I said, I don't remember his name. He did drag racing on motorcycles.
I got nothing.
No one does. No one would.
Vanilla
But
Ice?
he was like such like that forceful. He wasn't charismatic. He was forced charisma, if you know what I mean. Where he's like, oh, I'm the most famous, whatever, speed bike motor. And he made us all take pictures that he signed. And I somehow held on to that for like 20 fucking years.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. In fact, it might still be in my parents' attic.
Burn that shit.
My Daisy Fuentes autograph that I used to have it like on a mirror in my bedroom, but because it was on a piece of paper, it wasn't like it was. I just put it in the little slot so it would fall to the ground, and my grandmother threw it out.
Nice.
Because she also threw out money because it was on the ground, so it must be trash.
This is why you Italians are poor.
That's why those Italians are poor.
Be careful about your heroes, folks.
Yeah, be careful about your heroes. I will. Since I work in the industry, I won't cheat too much. I have met. I'll cheat for this one story. So I used to work at NHL.com. I've said this on the podcast already. Shared a studio with Major League Baseball. I would use the gym there. And there was one time I was doing like my own baby of a workout where it was just like, all right, it's like burpees, but there's pull-ups involved too. And one of the guys that was working out there like pulled me aside and it's like, hey man, what kind of workout is that? It's like, oh, it's like a burpee, but it's a pull-up. And it's like, oh, that's really cool. Like, and I started asking me questions. Did not realize it was Carlos Pena.
Oh,
who was an MLB All-Star.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was like, wait, my workout was just complimented by a professional athlete.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Also, a funnier one that's it's not funnier, but another one because
it's quite sad.
It's quick. I used to cover the Flyers, for a blog, and I remember I had press access to like their rookie training or whatever. So I was there, and I was like walking by myself, and all of a sudden, their play-by-play commentator, Jim Jackson, walked up to talk to me. He just was just like, yeah, I think the goaltending looks really good. I was just like, and then I was kind of like, holy shit, this Jim Jackson. Holy shit, don't say anything stupid. This man could sink you.
That's the perfect moment for you to look at him and be like, oh my God, your eyes are just immaculate.
Yeah, that would be the last thing that I would want to say to this man.
I'm just saying.
That reminds me of it's not my story.
If you ever want to tag me in.
My father, I forgot about this. He met Joe Torre at Newark Air, or not Newark, at JFK.
Okay.
Like we were going on a flight, and my father never followed sports at all. So he went to go take a piss. And the way my uncle and my father would talk was just lines from pretty much Goodfellas or Godfather, but pretty much like any Italian mafia movie.
Right.
So the two of them are like in the bathroom doing that. And then they're coming out still doing it. And my uncle, no sport, like he's a sports head. And Joe Torre comes out behind them, like filling in whatever the fuck they were saying. And like my father's like, oh, look at this guy. And my uncle is just like, jaw on the ground, like, oh my God, it's fucking Joe Torre. And my father, no clue, not a care in the fucking world, because who gives a shit about Joe Torre? Because that's just another guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like in Joe Torre, just like kind of played along. Like I think he signed something for my uncle because my father didn't give a shit. Like why are you getting something signed by this Jamon?
Speaking of meeting somebody at the airport, we'll wrap with this.
Sure.
I was traveling back to New Jersey from Nashville, and I had just gone to see this game with my brother. It was a Rangers Predators game. At the airport was their commentator, Sam Rosen. I did not recognize him because I was like, is that Sam Rosen or am I just tired?
Right.
And then at one point, I'm like, it's definitely Sam Rosen. And, I was never going to say anything to this man. I was just like, yep, it's just Sam Rosen. I'll just leave him be. I'm sure he gets harangued wherever he goes and all that stuff. And at one point, when we got back to New Jersey, we had to go through baggage collect, and I got my bag was landed right where he was, and I got mine before him. So he was probably like first class, like, where the fuck is my bag? And so I grab my bag. He looks at me. I look at him, and I just give him a nod and just walk away.
I wish you just like winked at him and just like, too bad.
I feel like the nod was enough.
The nod was enough.